Good morning, good morning. I had a word this morning. I've had, see, when you just kind of try to just come and be still, you could pray to God every day, you could thank God every night, you could thank Him every morning, you could pray to Him every morning. But if you're not being still at some point and just listening, like just paying attention, just locking in, just focusing, I'm not gonna say it's all for naught, but I don't know. Let me say this, because I don't know everything. I just know my experiences. I done made a lot of bad choices, a lot of bad decisions, knowingly made bad decisions, and a lot of the times unknowingly made bad decisions to the point where I felt like I couldn't even trust myself to make a good decision for anybody. Myself, my children, my family, my friends, my coworkers, anybody. Like I felt like I couldn't make a good decision to save my life. The past few years have been dedicated to getting more, having more, doing more, because my family and I deserve more. So buying the house, making sure credit right, trying to make sure income is right, income is consistent, trying to save, trying to put things in place, and sacrificing so many things that I kind of look back on and wish I didn't even do it at the time, because I didn't get what I was working so hard for. I've been so resentful and so angry and so frustrated because I'm doing all the things that I should be and could be doing to put myself in a position where it's time to move forward. It's time to finally step in all the stuff that I've always wanted and that I'm working hard for. Right? And then every time it's time to get up to the plate, I don't hit the home run. We don't win the game. It just falls short. It's just like I feel like hardball. Like we go into the ship. Don't they won in hardball? I feel like Coach Carter. We didn't win, but some people got scholarships and they went to college. They didn't win a championship, but they went to college. But anyway, I said all this to say that sometimes I also get frustrated that I talk to God and I feel like He's not talking back to me. And He talked back. He talked back and I heard it. He put me into situations. Like I spend a lot of time watching my phone. I watch YouTube, I watch Instagram mainly for workout and laughs, and YouTube just for like entertainment, sermons. And this morning, like the past 2 days, I've been trying to watch this sermon from Tony Evans about detours. And yesterday I started watching, the past few days I started watching a YouTuber, a vlogger, Queen Javon, and I found her through Shanice Alicia. I started watching her more the past few days. I had to get past just some of her mannerisms are a little much for me, and I have to get past them. But once I got past that, I'm like, okay, I really do actually like her content. But anyway, she, at some point, I don't know when, but at some point, she posted a video about couples Bible study, which is like something that I wish so much for me and my husband to be able to do. As a couple, we used to be a lot closer to God. It just hasn't been the best year. They had a couples Bible study, and at first she was like, I ain't gonna post too much of it, but she basically ended up posting what seemed like all of it pretty much, and it was virtual. I thought it was going to be a real life thing, but they were virtual. And the scripture was basically about the scripture and the story was, I don't know if the story was exactly theirs, but I think it was similar to theirs. It didn't sound like it would have been theirs, but it was just kind of like, don't turn your nose up at a broken foundation. Basically what God has for you is for you, without saying that, because I think that's so cliche, and sometimes when I hear that, it kind of shuts me down, because it's just like, if that's the case, then why does he have it for other people when they don't even deserve it? So it was kind of like, what I got from it is, for my example, buying a house. Like, buying a house, expectations very high. You want a lot, you want it all together, but that's not always the case. So you keep putting in these bids, and you keep getting outbid and all this other stuff. So it's just kind of like, then they found this house, and it was, the floors were uneven, but basically they got accepted for this house. Nobody outbid them, and it's just something that they have to put more work into. So it was kind of like related to marriage, home buying, making a baby. Like, you having troubles buying a house, you having troubles in your relationship, you having troubles making a baby, things that you want to be so successful, so bad, and you want them to be great, the best thing that they could ever be, but you having trouble making it that. Don't be afraid to put in the work, and don't give up on that. Like, don't give up, even though things aren't working out like you want, and how you plan, and how you idolize them, how they would ideally be for you, like what you would want ideally for yourself, is I think what I'm trying to say. I know what I'm trying to say, but I'm having a hard time with words this morning. It might not be ideal, what you thought was ideal, what you thought that you were gonna get, but it can be something, and it can grow, and you can work on it, and you can build on it, and you can even out that foundation, and you can go up from there. Was basically how it was. And then today I finally finished the Tony Evans scripture. Sermon, and it was basically, he was talking about Joseph living in Potiphar'S house, or being a slave, how God made him a slave. Like, Joseph's brothers, God blessed him and gave him all these powers, right? And gave him the robe or whatever, right? And his brothers was jealous, and his brothers sold him into slavery, and God allowed him to go through all these things. And then he went into slavery, he was a slave, and then he ended up being like the best slave, you know what I'm saying? And through that process, that detour, because at first Joseph was like showing off the jacket and basically like bragging and stuff, and it kind of made his brothers angry, I guess, and jealousy built even more. So they did all these bad things to him, and God took him through that, his own brothers. And then once he got, he was sold into slavery, he lived in Potiphar'S house, he worked as a slave for Potiphar, but then eventually he became like the head slave, like the head man in charge. He was learning all these skills as a slave, which is basically misery. Like, through all this misery that God allowed him to go through, and this detour that he took him through, he actually learned all these skills from that. And basically, Potiphar'S wife, the devil, tempting him and trying to get him to lay with her, basically like trying to get him to have sex with her, Potiphar'S wife. So 1, they're unmarried, her and Joseph. 2, she married to somebody else. 3, she married to his boss. You know what I'm saying? Like, this just can't get any worse. And he already a slave, and he the head slave. So he was kind of like, I'm the head, slave, I'm working for your husband. How could I do that evil to him? And even more importantly, like, how can I do that evil to God? Like, how could I do that? Like, how could I sleep with you? So, devil kept tempting. He kept saying no to the devil, I see it as the devil, but kept saying no to evil and evil doings. And the devil kept on, like, come on. He was like, no, I'm not doing it. No. Until one day, she asked him and physically pulled his clothes or his fabric or his coat or whatever you want to call it back in the day, pulled it. So now she got this evidence, you know what I'm saying, like a piece of him, and she's so mad that the devil's so mad that he keeps saying no and keep denying the devil's devilish deeds. He keep denying it. So made her so mad, she lied and cried rape. Like, oh, he raped me. Look, I got his clothes. I can prove he raped me. He ran out after he raped me and left his garment. That don't even make sense. But, you know, he was a slave. So who would believe him over the boss's wife? You know what I'm saying? So he was just kind of like, you ever had anybody lie on you? And lie on you so bad to the point, like, where you really couldn't win against the lie? Like, you can't. You're a slave. The boss's wife, she's the boss's wife. She's got your garment, and she's hollering this and this and that. So it's kind of like, how can you even win against that lie? And I'm just like, oh, have I never? Yes, I have had the devil like lie on me, and to the point where I couldn't win against a freaking lie, bro. Like, that's messed up. Like, that's messed up when you've had somebody lie on you and you can't even win. So anywho, God took him through all these deeds, right? All this stuff. And it's kind of was supposed to build up to, like, you know, you're going through all these detours, not as punishment, but you're going through all these detours to learn new tools and new skills. And until you do the right thing by what you have, whether it's your job, your current living situation, your current relationship, until you do the right thing by that, you're not gonna be blessed with anything more. So we'll pick up later. To what I was saying yesterday, because I had got to work and my windows aren't tinted, so it's weird when I'm talking at work. My windows aren't tinted. It's weird talking, period. My windows not tinted, but especially at work, because we're like right there on each other and people don't know me like that. So it was basically, so Joseph, yeah. So his brothers did him dirty, sold him to slavery. They were jealous, but he was kind of showboaty at the same time. Nothing that I think to the extreme of like, oh, we don't like you, we're jealous, we're gonna cast you into slavery. However, after everything that Joseph had went through, it was kind of like God's humbling grace, because yeah, he was a little bit showboaty about his jacket and stuff like that, which ignited even more jealousy in his brothers and stuff. Not saying that his brothers should have did what they did. So we're gonna try to see with the eyes of the Lord, speak with the voice of the Lord, and try our best to just do right by what we're dealing with. So even if he was in slavery, he was being the best slave. He was learning new tools and picking up new tools on that detour in his life, because God wanted greatness for him, obviously, because he chose him in the first place. So he just was picking up new tools along the way on his journey, on his detour. So basically, like, what you are going through, even if it's an extended detour like I've been going through, or if it's just like a brief kind of detour and it just feels almost like it's not because God is punishing you. It's not because God feels like somebody else is more worthy than you necessarily. It's because he is allowing you to, one, learn new tools leading up to the journey, so by the time you get the blessing, he knows that you can handle it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's trying to basically condition you so that when the blessing does come, he knows you can handle it, you can deal with it, you can take care of it. He's not gonna bless you with a new home if you're not taking care of the home you have, new or not new, small or not small, you know, not ideal. He's not gonna bless you with more where you're not taking care of what you have. That could go into relationships. Like, he's not gonna bless your relationship with more progress and everything you want out of it if you're not taking care of what you have now. So it's just like, what you have in the detour that your life and your relationship may be in right now, it may be so hard, and you may feel like it's such a punishment, and you may feel like why me, Lord? You know, like, what did I do to deserve this mess? But again, he's taking you on this detour so you can appreciate what you have later on, so you can deal with what you have and know how to handle what you have later on, and just so you could pick up more tools leading up into it. You know what I'm saying? So these two situations that I have like witnessed recently, it says a lot about where I am in my life, in my relationship, in my future, and stuff like that. As far as like, why am I working so hard to try to buy a home for my children and myself? And it's just every year, every 6 months to a year, we try, and it's not happening. Why am I working so hard to on this relationship and my love, and I'm so passionate and I'm so patient, and I'm trying to be different to hope that they will be different, and nothing's changing in the relationship, nothing's getting better. The detour, the relationship, why are we still on the detour? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we still on the detour? I don't understand. Why are we still detoured? So it just opened my eyes to, you know, just a lot. And it's just kind of like, okay, I wouldn't say maybe I'm shooting too high. I will say, my little dread, I knew it was going to be my funny dread. I wouldn't say maybe I'm shooting too high, but I will say maybe this is God telling me, like, I need to do even more or learn even more from what I have in front of me, like what I'm dealing with, what, you know what I'm saying, like where I am. I need to learn even more, and I'm not just gonna sit in the situation and wallow in it and be sad and upset about it. I'm gonna be in it and just keep learning, keep building, keep growing, because whatever he has for me is for me, and whenever he feels like I'm ready for it, he's gonna give it to me. As ready as I say I am, because I feel like I am, child. Like I am ready. As ready as I feel like I am, as ready as I say I am. As much as I'm like, come on with it. Obviously, I may not be. I may not be ready as I thought I was. You know what I'm saying? So therefore and furthermore, I got more work to do. I'm tired of working. But I clearly have more work to do. So that happening to get into that vlogger happened to, and seeing that particular vlog as far as like the couples Bible study, and then the next day finally being able to watch Tony Evans and that detour scripture, because let me see, I didn't watch that till Monday morning. I usually try to watch my scriptures and my services on Sunday at least, but I didn't watch that till Monday morning. And it was just like, wow, like God is trying to tell you something. Sometimes I feel like I'm talking to him, but he's not talking back. But it's like maybe my head is too loud. It's too loud in my head for me to hear what he's saying. So I guess I'm to the point where I can hear what he's saying. And I'm like, okay, God, I feel you. I didn't want to hear that. But sometimes you have to hear things that you don't want to hear. I did not want to hear that, but it's been said. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. I can sit and just be upset about what I'm in and disappointed and sad and depressed. Or I can try to just keep learning and keep picking up new things on this detour. I do believe that God will not only give me what I deserve and what he promised, but I also believe he will keep me from things that I don't even know that I need to be kept from. He'll keep me from it. Like he will, You know, his detour is not necessarily a punishment, but it is also his protection. Sometimes that initial disappointment is God's protection. I don't know what it is yet. Most times you don't know what you're being protected from until after something happens and you're like, oh God, thank God we didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like literally saying, thank God I didn't do that. Thank God I didn't say that. Thank God we didn't go there. You know what I'm saying? So I try to look at things. I just thought that was a really positive, motivating, important, like, piece of my life and information. And it may hit with some people, it may not hit with some people. Some people might not listen to me when I'm talking in the car, when I'm posting this video. But the people that need to see it and need to hear it and possibly can relate to it or will relate to it, they're gonna hear me. So that's all I wanted to say about that. I had to finish that because I have like sinus issues starting to build up. Ooh, child. I'll be back. I was yours, you were mine.